Welcome back. It is 1564. Last year we had the plague, so lots of bad things happened. But this year, and also last year we lost Sibley, and we do not have any babies, so we need to figure that out. But anyway, this year we got a lot to do. Apparently Shakespeare was born this year. We have a few birthdays, and then I want to introduce you to a bunch of new townies that I added. So let's get right to it. No 7, 14, or 19 for Eustace Hobart. He survived. For the two kids, we have Richard and Barnabas. No 2, 4, or 6. Ooh. Oh, I don't need to roll again, but Barnabas just did not survive. It's about time these people had some kids die. I know it's terrible to say. I also forgot to age her up last year, so we're just going to do it this year. We also have to age up Anchor, and then these two get an age up as well. So I'm also going to add the new townies here, but I want to introduce you to them. So what we have here, a couple of things going on, because I've written out much a story to figure this all out, and we need multiple people to make it happen. So the first grouping here is from S. Sims Player again. This is the Gold family. So the Gold family used to be servants to a royal family. Aurella wanted more. She wanted power. She convinced the lower class and nobles to help her overthrow them. Her advisors were trying to convince her to marry so she can have a son because they don't really like her daughter Catherine to be a future queen. They want a king. And she does want more kids to make sure her legacy lives on. She also wants to make sure that her daughter marries either a prince or a duke. Anyone else is not good enough. So that's them. She's evil, she's jealous, she's erratic, but her daughter is a genius and a hothead, so not too bad for Catherine there. Then we have this family. This is the Domino family from the Fallen 0G. It looks like they were originally by Sebmarin, so this is a father and a son. This is Bert and Miguel. So they are just going to be a new family in town. He is also, a knight. He's got the title of Sir. The next family is by Eva La Bella, and it looks like they were also originally by Sebmarin. Sebmarin out here with so many Sims. This is the Waldrick family, and they are just really interesting. The father, Agnes, is evil. The mother is jealous and erratic, and then the daughter is evil, but then the son is good. So it's an interesting family dynamic, and they're going to be pretty interesting to join in too. And then, of course, Sebmarin, I added just a bunch of random bachelor and bachelorette sets so that we can have more Sims to, include in all of this. So that's what's happening. I'm going to get them all set up and moved onto the spreadsheet and everything, and then we'll hop into the game and see what is going on back home. Alrighty, so we are actually going to start here in the Light household. I do want to give Nicholas some time to grieve on his own after the loss of his wife, so we are going to spend some time somewhere else. And we are going to be here in the Light household. And like I kind of said a little bit last time, I think that Alphonse is not happy to not have a male heir. Now, he tried really hard to have his son. I mean, he had, multiple wives. He focused a lot on it, and he did not have any sons live to adulthood besides Amos. And so he was very, put all of his hopes and dreams on Amos, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And so he isn't really happy that Amos doesn't have a son, and he's like, hey, you have to, keep trying. And we know that they don't have any more baby roles left, him and Katerina. So he's basically kind of pressuring him, and him and Katerina really aren't able to have any more children and everything. And then we have him kind of saying, well, you either need to get remarried or you need to start having some illegitimate children you can legitimize. And Katerina walked by earlier, and she is not into that, right? She is like, absolutely not. Is one of my children is going to become the future queen. She is not going to let someone else kind of take that place and take the role of, the mother, queen mother, or whatever. So there's that. And then we have them actually going out, because I really didn't feel like calling over two Sims that were going to be annoying about where they go. But I do want them to meet the new royal family. That's the Gold family. Isn't that funny? Light and gold. So this is the Queen Gold and her daughter, the princess. And so she actually kind of has the same problem where she is, being pressured and considering trying to have more children so that she can have a boy. And then also at the same time, she's got her daughter that she's trying to marry off to a prince or like a good, marriage. I'm just putting some couches in here so I can actually get them to go talk. So that's what we have here, and we have these guys just coming in and having this conversation and getting to know each other, meeting each other. This is Queen Arella and her daughter, Princess Catherine. So they're all chatting, and, it's kind of customary for the royals to meet each other, to know each other, to become friendly relations so that their countries can have friendly relations, even though we haven't been focusing too much on, having separate countries here, because I don't even know what countries they would be from, but that's fine. And so they're just all chatting and getting to know each other and just introducing each other. And definitely, Arella wants to potentially marry her daughter off to someone important. Now, we know Queen Elizabeth, she's not married. She's not going to get married. And also, she wouldn't marry a woman. So that's not helpful for them. But, Alphonse is currently single. That is true, even though he's old. And of course, during the course of the conversation, she realizes, she's not the only one who kind of prioritizes that male role. And so she is definitely kind of potentially trying to push her daughter in Amos's direction, at least to, potentially take Katarina's spot. So that is something that will not be good for Katarina, but she will handle it. So they're all just hanging out. But Amos is even paying attention to Katarina anyway, even with everyone else in the room. So I think that that's sweet. And then, of course, Alphonse actually had a whim to become friends with Katarina. So I think that he is potentially trying to butter her up to allow Amos to step outside their marriage, because he's probably gotten a feel for what kind of person she is by now. And she is a very strong woman who is not going to let other people do what they want at her expense. So then we're going to head home. We're going to, unfold all of that slowly over the next couple of years, but we're heading home in the meantime. What are you wearing, my guy? So we're back home, and I didn't realize that if we join that career, we get our own church and our inventory, kind of like an estate from the Regency Romance mod. So that's really interesting, and we'll try to do some stuff with that. But meanwhile, we have Alice and her father talking about her coming out ball that we're going to host this year, and he's telling his daughter about relationships, healthy relationships, what you should look for in a husband and all of this stuff. And Alice is basically like, yeah, I want to get out of here as fast as possible. She's like, she is not really interested in the whole, falling in love, blah, blah, blah. She doesn't really remember it that well, like her parents' marriage and everything. And so she is just like, I want to get out of the house. I want to have my independence. I want to be my own woman. I'm ready to go. And so she is going to be very diligently searching for a husband. And I kind of think of her a bit like Francesca in Bridgerton, where she's like, okay, I love you guys, but I want to go live my own life now. So that's something that she is focused on, and at the same time, we are going to have her coming out ball so that she can start meeting some of the new Sims that we put in the world. There's also a couple other Sims that are available, like Bennett Crookshank, and Vlad is still available, all those people. So there are other options as well, but we are, more specifically going to start introducing her to some of these new townies, seeing what she thinks, what she, feels for that. So there's that. We're just having them to hang out, trying to introduce her to as many of them as possible, see what she thinks about them, see if she gets any crushes or anything. And then, of course, as per usual, about this time, my game decided to crash. So the game is about to crash very shortly, and then I get back into, our household, and I decide, right, right here, yeah. So I decide that I'm just going to call over all the eligible Sims, and then I also wanted to call over the ladies as well, because I feel like Nicholas, he's not ready to move on, but I think he should start meeting people, and so I'm going to call over, he's bisexual, so he's going to meet both the guys and the ladies, but he really does have to get married to a woman so they can have babies. So I think that if he did marry a woman, even though he was in love with a guy, they would just have some sort of arrangement together. So I think that would be okay. But anyway, maybe he'll fall in love with another woman. I don't know. Anyway, so we are going to focus on introducing everybody to everybody and having that good connection. But yeah, Nicholas is definitely still grieving, and I'm torn because I'm like, I don't want to have Nicholas move on so quickly. I don't. But at the same, he loved Sibley so much, but like also he needs to have kids. He needs to have kids now before he dies. And I mean, but some of you are saying like, well, there's Katerina in her life, and you're right. But yeah, so if we want Nicholas to remain the heir, he's got to get married and start having kids. Like, it's just a non-negotiable there. So they're all chatting. I think that probably also being involved in the church a little bit is helping him kind of find peace with, Sibley's death and the death of his children and stuff. I think that he is having a really hard time with it, but at the same time, he is, trying to find comfort in his beliefs and trying to figure out a way to move forward. So I am going to have him go out to the bar. Now, he is going to meet a few Sims here, and one of the Sims he meets is actually, what's his name again? Angus, Aengus. But is it pronounced like the burger, Angus? But anyway, he meets Angus, and they kind of have this conversation. They have a few drinks. They get a little flirty, like he's not really looking for a relationship, and this guy is married too. So he's not really looking for anything like that, but I think that, maybe just some companionship. Of course, Angus keeps leaving, which is really annoying. I'm keep trying to get him to come back here so that we can have this conversation, and then we can get flirty, and we can maybe do a little woohoo. Just, Nicholas just needs some company. He's not really feeling ready. He met all of those bachelor and bachelorettes, and he's still just not really feeling ready to commit to anyone after Sibley died. And I know we don't have a lot of time to, waffle about his future relationship status, but I just also feel like he's not ready. And you know what? If we have to move on to Katerina, we will. But yeah, he's just not ready yet. But he is ready to, have some fun and have some no commitment situations. So he is going to have a good time with that and, enjoy. So good for him that he can do whatever he wants. I keep getting this like heart in the left corner where the what they're doing shows up, and I like don't know what exactly it is. I mean, it says be asked, and I wonder if it's like be asked on a date, be asked to be a romantic partner, but then even if I just wait, nothing ever happens. So I don't really know what's up with that, but whatever. So then we have just going to keep working on his career and his aspiration and everything. So that's what we're focusing on there. And then we have little Juliana, who is, continuing to kind of be housebound by her father. So that's really annoying for her. And what are those two talking about in the corner there? I didn't even notice that while I was playing because I was focused on Gabriel and Juliana. But anyway, I want Alice to go and, take charge of her life. So Alice has met all of the guys, and she, has some good feelings about some of them, and others she wants to get married quickly, and she feels like some of them are not really interested in, a very quick courtship or anything like that. But she notices that Bert, who already has a son, like Bert is potentially looking to get married quickly because he wants a mother for his son. And Alice is like, I can make that work. And, let me see if he's a good man or not. And so they go on a little outing and just get to know each other. She got a little heart there, just spending some time being friendly, getting to know each other. And, he's a sir. I think, does that mean he's a knight, or can you be sir without being a knight? But anyway, he's got a small title. And it's not hereditary or anything, but he's, out of all the other guys, like I didn't give anyone else a title, so there's that. And so he is like the highest ranking. He is a good father. He's got a house. He's got plenty going on. And so she feels like he would be, you know, a good match. They're getting along well. They're friendly. Is going out pretty quickly. They're having a good time. And so I'm like, okay, well, why don't we start getting a little flirty with him, see how that goes. So they're getting flirty and they are having that together. And yeah, she's got a crush on him. So I think that everything is going well with this. She is definitely laying it on thick. And then you guys, they are autonomously trying for a baby. You guys, they are autonomously trying for a baby. I'm like, Alice, I know you wanted to get married fast, but I didn't think you meant like immediately because you got pregnant. And I was debating whether I was going to let them do it or not, but I was like, you know what? It's fine. I still have stuff I want to do with Alice, so I think we'll have to kind of go the same route that we're going with Katerina, where we, you know, spend a day, maybe a year at her household. But like, oh my gosh, Alice, I was planning on having you be here and doing stuff, but now she got pregnant. Oh, she got pregnant, Alice. I like seriously, these Sims, they just have minds of their own. Like she was like, "Oh, you said I wanted to get married quickly? I'll make it quick." Oh gosh, but anyway, Alice is now pregnant, although she by the end of this year she is not showing, so she doesn't know yet that she's pregnant. So that's an interesting situation. I'm going to do the birthdays, but we are going to do one more thing after the birthdays, so don't click off the video just yet. But for birthdays, we have Eustace Hobard becoming a toddler, Richard Hobard II becoming a child. I'm just adding him to the club by calling him here and then controlling him and adding him to the club. Same thing with Barnabas Hobard, who passed away. I just called him over here so that I could kill him. And then we also have Enaid and Anchor Whitehead becoming teenagers, but it looks like they didn't get added to the club. It was probably when my club got deleted again that I was like re-adding people to them and they just like didn't show up in the panel. So I am going to have to go to their house to add them to the club for future stuff. I'm sure there's other Sims that are also missing, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. And then, yeah, I'm going to give them all makeovers right now. So just really quickly, we have Enaid and her brother. So here she is. And then honestly, her brother, what a sim. He's good looking, right? He's a good looking sim. So that is exciting. But anyway, here he is. And then we're going to just add him to the spreadsheet here for possible matches for people. And yeah, so we're just going to then dress up the Hobard children. There's 2 Hobard children that have birthdays, so that'll be good. And yeah, I mean, things are going well. Even though the Hobards keep losing kids, they have so many boys. Like, they're fine. So there's that. And then I guess I forgot to delete this baby. I'm sorry, but you don't get to keep that baby. Okay, so back home. We're going to go back home and we're going to do another thing because I do want Alice to kind of have a conversation with Gabriel, not telling him she's pregnant because she doesn't know she's pregnant yet, but she's just going to come and chat with him and basically be like, I think I found my future husband. I think I found someone who I could marry. And Gabriel is kind of surprised, right? He's like, whoa, you just met them all. Like, what do you mean? You don't really know this guy. So that is something that they're going to struggle with a little bit. I'm going to queue up Nicholas's aspiration stuff, although I really should be queuing up his work stuff instead of his aspiration stuff, but whatever. So, yeah, so Gabriel's going to be like, oh, you just met. How do you know that you're compatible? And she's like, I'm pretty sure we're compatible. Like, she's very much like, I've already decided this is the way it's going to be. And Gabriel's like, okay. And then she actually gets called out to a date with Bert. And I think that that's so fun. So she gets called to meet Bert out at one of the actually new world places. But she gets out to meet him, and I'm running out of time in this video, so I'm just going to explain it really quickly, even though you're kind of hearing it before you're seeing it. But it goes poorly. Like, they keep trying to flirt with each other and they keep getting negatives and everything becomes awkward and they just go back and forth and they keep losing and it's awkward and it's uncomfortable, and Alice is like, oh no. You know, she's like, oh no, I woohooed with him and now I'm realizing that maybe we're not as compatible as I thought. So that's where we're going to wrap up, with Alice kind of being worried that she might have already made a mistake here. So that's that. And I will catch you in the next one.